I'm going to the chiropractor.
Irish. Go in here early and stop going.
Hey, just because people don't normally put pianos on houseboats doesn't mean it's not a good idea. All right, I'm an innovator, hold that. I'm like the first guy to bring a microwave on a houseboat. They probably said that guy was crazy.
Right, but a microwave weighs 10 pounds.
And a piano weighs 6 million.
6 million? I find that hard to believe. I think it's 600, which is well within the carrying capacity of this vessel. Besides, if there's too much weight, I'll just start hanging out with tinier people like you. Like little miniature, tiny little curly hair.
Why don't you store it at Adams?
Yeah, I can't really do that to him. He's already storing my dad.
Well, if you're not willing to give it up, then there's only one other option.
Which is...
You're gonna need a bigger boat, Mike.
Is that from John? You did Quint. And it's Ray Scheider's line, I think.
Actually, it's Roy Scheider's line, but...
Right, Roy Scheider's line.
Right. What I do know is that dinner is
signs of
I
metabolic
still
distress.
predict it's the
Scan
penis.
his abdomen.
Yeah. Let's assume we
Tattoos
don't
on the
figure that out
penis.
on our own. And found a
Yeah,
mass on the
sometimes
pancreas.
guys tattoo their dicks.
Mass looks solid. I'd say it's cancer. Paraneoplastic syndrome would explain the neurological symptoms. You need to get a piece of it. Schedule a CT guided biopsy.
Bless
Let's
you.
assume we'd already figured that out on our own.
Then what's this consult?
Why haven't you been yelling at me about the Cuddy twins?
Because you're doing the right thing.
We talking about the same issue. Is there something I don't know about that I'm responding to appropriately?
Cuddy wants you in the middle of this. So does Arlene, because they don't want to face their own problem. Somehow, in your knee-jerk, juvenile way, you tripped and fell into an actual adult response to this.
You're right. That was Cuddy's strategy all along. She wanted me to think that she desperately needed me to be there so that I wouldn't be there.
Never go up and you rock and roll and drift away.
Sometimes a girl just needs her mother.
Give me the
Lots of things are
beat,
gonna change
free
in
my
your life.
soul.
Then
Hey,
you're
you
gonna wake up
can't
and find a gray hair.
play snippets of a song.
On your head.
Not play the rest.
I was never a traditional mom, but I am a musician, and I'd like to give all I have to you.
Ricky and Nicole.
Yeah, that looks like a good movie. See if they have it at the library. I'll watch it with you. Oh, The Devil Wears Prada 2 is out. I want to see that one too with Meryl Streep in it.
I get top right end.
When I was a boy, heaven was here, and America was here. You could be any
I don't need this. I don't need this. Now my secrets are our secrets. Thank you.
probably show you on a screenshot on how to clean out your phone storage more better.
Okay.
Do that later.
And that was the moment in my adventure.
Just have to review the video from today, I guess.
No idea who he is. I've never seen him again. And I can only imagine what he must have thought.
Sounds like a cat meowing out there. Kid.
Now it's time for me to put on my costume. But I have to do this privately. So my dressing room is the very ledge of the building, not visible from the streets of Manhattan. The dressing room is also something that Papa Rudy taught me. This is where the transformation takes place. This is where the disguised imposter, the intruder, becomes the performer, the artist.
Oh my God, it's falling!
Nope.
It's just a shirt. It's just a shirt.
Hey, nothing yet, huh? I'm gonna get cracking.
Yeah, like how I
A little
had
less than a year later,
someone being
I'm
buried.
getting ready for bed, and my anxiety sinks
I
in
knew it was
again.
at a burial, like somebody died. I
Just
didn't know who
very much
died.
the same way,
It
where
was, like,
I'm
really
afraid
weird.
I'm not going to wake up. I was even more anxious to sleep because I knew the
remember
nightmare
it
was coming.
Sad and numb at the same time. I know this survived, and my brain was
Again, I'm back in this dark place in my nightmare, and this feeling I'm never going to wake up.
Terry knew her nightmare would predict someone's fate, and it was only a matter of time before she found out who.
Stanley, hey. I got a phone call from one of my friends. When?
It definitely kind of felt like my dream was warning me that she was sick.
Although Nicholas believed the violent nightmare about his grandmother was actually foretelling her death, he had no idea that it would happen again.
Remarkable! My father left when I was 4. I was around for 90% of my childhood. And then when I was about 16, and wanted to kind of build a relationship, which we did, and it ended up being much better than what it was before.
Great, so
Not long after reconnecting with his father, Nicholas received another vision in his nightmare.
Amazing!
Me and my father were sitting on the couch.
Great!
And we hear the sound of...
You did it!
My father's the one. He gets up, walks behind, and he's gone for what seems like, a while.
A cover-up.
We are aware of no evidence today that would suggest that any Murdaugh played any role in Stephen Smith's death or played any role in trying to cover up the investigation into his death.
All I want is peace and knowing what happened to my son. He's my world, and I'm gonna fight to the end.
This is a woman that has fought this battle alone since 2015, screaming as loud as she could with not a lot of people listening.
CBS News confirming that the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division is now investigating Stephen Smith's death as a homicide.
The Murdaugh case brought Stephen's cold case to light.
Somehow, some way in the Murdaugh murder investigation, a new thread was opened up into Stephen Smith. Our primary function right now is to have that body exhumed, have a true independent set of eyes look at it, and tell us once and for all what really happened to Stephen Smith.
The gash was from part of his eyebrow across here. The injuries can tell us so much about what happened.
And in this case, they did.
They did.
Set the scene for me on July 8th, 2000.
School, he loved dealing with medicine, and he just loved it.
He must have been so proud.
Oh, it was.
But instead, Sandy says those dreams were buried with her son.
He decided to bury him in his scrubs.
Dr. Stephen Smith. He had everything he needed in his pocket. He had a stethoscope and everything he needed.
Stephen had just completed a semester of school and was taking summer classes, shuttling back and forth between his parents who lived apart. He had visited Sandy a week before he was killed.
A storm started brewing. I told him that he needed to hurry up and get back to his dad's house. So when he made it, he texted me and says, "I made it safe, Mom. Mama, I love you."
Sandy says those were Stephen's last words to her. Days later, she would hear the news that would alter the course of her life.
July 8th, I was on my way to work, and I was listening to a local radio station, and I heard that they had found a body.
Sandy called her daughter Stephanie right away.
She said, "Mama, did Stephen stay with you last night? Because he didn't come home last night." Then my stomach dropped, and I knew it was him. I lost it then. I left my job and just drove back to Hampton, and we just couldn't understand why. It was just the biggest shock of our life.
Within hours, Stephen's cause of death was suddenly changed to a hit and run.
Botox Cosmetic is the brand I trust and recommend for not only myself, but my patients.
I was excited to book another Botox Cosmetic appointment because it is trusted.
The only one FDA approved for over 20 years. Botox Cosmetic is FDA approved to temporarily improve the appearance of moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and
Stephen's family has always insisted if Stephen had car trouble, he would have felt safer walking through the woods.
So where was Stephen's car?
Stephen's car was located, if you look at this gate here, it was not grown up then. You could access that gate just in this area, really close to the woods.
But to cut through the woods, Stephen would have had to scale a fence that was 8 feet tall.
And from what I understand from interviewing neighbors, it's been there for well over a decade.
Kinsey theorizes Stephen was walking along the road, trying to flag someone down for help.
He is walking this direction in the lane facing traffic. Whatever was attached to the vehicle or hanging off of the vehicle, whenever it struck Stephen, he went down in this area, somewhat on this line here. The vehicle that struck Stephen was coming toward him, just like that vehicle in the photograph.
Like this?
Yes, going that direction.
Kinsey says the evidence suggests the driver saw something in the road and changed lanes.
If you were to write a made-for-TV Southern legal drama, you couldn't have done a better job than this.
DeWitt writes about it in his book, The Fall of the House of Murdaugh, which he ends with Stephen Smith.
It's kind of interesting and tragic that the oldest story remains unsolved. Solving his murder, I think this will be the end of this sweeping saga.
As SLED continues its investigation of the Smith case behind closed doors, What investigators found after the Murdaugh murders remains the subject of intense speculation. Do you have any idea what the new evidence that may be presented to the grand jury is?
No. I do know that SLED has Stephen's phone.
Feels hard and unwilling or unbending. It just feels like everything's rigid and terrible almost. She worked very hard to maintain an image of standing in the community, and it just was tore down all at once by him. So I feel her with her children in this room, and just this definitely is a place where she still visits to remember those happy times. She's not red. She's not trying to scare anybody.
My sense is Edna wasn't trying to scare anybody. Edna was going to
Draw
have a
two.
presence, and she was not going to be putting it back
Green.
there. She was going to do exactly what she wanted to do, whether it's
Black.
or not.
Uno. Skip. Skip. Yellow. Super duper.
Now, I have to tell you, from a psychological standpoint, as a clinician, you have to look at baseline. You can't just drop into a situation and say, everybody does this, so if somebody doesn't, that means something's wrong. You have to look at the baseline for that individual. And when this young mother disappears without her children, you have to say, all right, what was her pattern? Was she got an inattentive mother? Were children just jewelry for her? Did she really care about these children? Did she push them off on the husband? Or was this her meaning in life? Was this her purpose in life? Was this why she got up every morning? Now, it's true, generally speaking, most moms don't leave their children. So you start with that, but then you look at the individual situation, and everybody that they talked to said this was a devout. October 07, Stacy told loved ones that she was strongly considering divorce. Her sister claimed Stacy was terrified.
N43.
She recalled a troubling conversation
I-29.
she had had before she married.
G46.
Her face turned pale white. She told me, quote,
B12.
if anything ever happens to me, Drew did something.
B2.
She said,
B4.
my heart stopped, and I said, let's go. Let's go.
Bingo. N42. Bingo. Round over.
Stacy just said, I can't. But Stacy began recording conversations. She told friends where it was hidden. She was preparing quietly and carefully in a way that suggested she believed her safety was at risk. And then, so like when you tell somebody, hey, anything happens to me, you need to look at him. Because I'm afraid of this guy. Something happens to me, that's the first place you better stop. If you said something like that, you're either setting him up or you're telling somebody the truth what you're afraid of. So what is it that Stacy was so afraid of? Most people that want divorce, they just get one. It's never fun, but they just get one. But Stacy saw what happened the last time a woman dared to stand up to Drew Peterson. The last time a woman divorced him. What happened to that woman? Well, she wound up dead. You're listening to Mystery and Murder, analysis by Dr. Phil. today we're going to talk about that ex-wife story. When I say ex-wife, her name was Kathleen, and Kathleen is dead. When Stacy met Drew Peterson, he was only 17, and he was an onward and hit your head. Then they look at the physical nature of, if you fell forward, would there be a bruise here? Would there be a bruise on the side? Well, not if you fell forward. They look at, where's the laceration? Does it make sense that it would be there? If you just look at the way the body would go from standing to slipping to falling, how do you account for different bruises in different places? And then they would take a look and say, if the body was placed in this way, was there a message sent? Was this about humiliating the victim? They were nude, they were face down. There's always a message that you can find if you look hard enough. And sometimes the message is that this was an accident. But if you find someone that...
B5. 075. 064. G57. 069. N39. N43. N37. B9. B15. Round over.
Saying that for years, that something was fundamentally wrong with her brain. Good night, Mom. You hug and kiss the feline Patty. Okay? I love her so much. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Do I love her like crazy. I'm gonna finish taking my pills now. I took every pill. And now I'm gonna take the peppermint pill to help me, poop a little bit more. And the poop softener. The stool softener, I mean. Because I haven't pooped in like 2 days, I think. So I have to, let things loose. But like I said, be careful what you wish for. I just don't want to, you know, have things explode on the day where I want to go to the fair. You know what I mean?
Was it in the 2000s, early 2000s? I think it was, maybe. But anyway, it's better now. And they didn't even know to take like swabs and stuff for that back then, right? But there is something they have, like I feel like a part of the car or something.
Okay. So they have the car in their possession still?
Something like a part of it, like
Part
a
of it
part
only.
or something, yeah. Let me see here real quick. Or it was something, yeah, there's something from it that they held on to, because the rest of the stuff they just thought at first that they were missing.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't know it was a homicide for a
Yeah.
bit. And it'd been so long, I guess, so
Yeah.
because he didn't report, I guess, them, no, a friend did. And so it'd been a while.
Okay. You said that she had another marriage and had another daughter. You want to bring that up now? We've got
Yes.
a few questions.
Yeah.
Let me see what I'm saying.
So this is about karma, and it's not really it's not